Good Sunday morning, folks. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend, enjoying your breakfast, a cup of coffee. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Joining us right now, we are talking to the folks from the Gladys Porter Zoo. We have Dr. Patrick Birchfield, the zoo director, and we have Charlie Obrego, the marketing coordinator. Thank you both so much for coming in this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we are talking about an endowment enhancement campaign. Now, what does that exactly mean, or what can we find out a little more about that?
Okay, well, what an endowment is basically is a block of money that earns interest. And that interest is money that the zoo can use towards operating the zoo, hiring new staff. Our industry, like all industries over the past 50 years, has changed dramatically, and we're constantly having to run faster and improve ourselves. And an endowment is kind of a way to ensure the long-term financial stability of the zoo. For example, our endowment currently is able to supply from $400,000 to $500,000 a year to the zoo's operation. In the past, at one point, back in 2001, it was gaining up to $900,000 a year for zoo operations. So we need to build up that pot of money so that the amount of money given to the zoo every year will increase over time, so we can keep up with the changing times.
Most definitely. Of course, and operating a zoo, I know, cannot be cheap.
No. We're a small zoo, but our budget's over $5 million a year. But to give you an idea, San Diego Zoo's advertising budget is more than that.
Wow.
So,
my goodness.
But and we compete very well with all the zoos nationally and internationally. We're a well-respected institution. But in the almost 50 years now that the zoo's existed, times change, exhibitory changes, interactives change, visitor experience changes. In order for us to be able to fundraise, to do the new exhibits and do the other new things at the zoo, we have to have the financial security that goes into our operating budget, and that's what the endowment does. So we need to grow that. In 1986, the first endowment drive successfully matched a $3 million grant, or matching grant, to get to $6 million. And then in 1996, we raised the endowment to $10 million, and by 2001, it was up to $13 million. But we need to keep growing that endowment so the amount of money that the zoo gets towards operations every year is increasing, like our costs are.
Yeah, most definitely.
And as the #1 conservation education man-made tourist attraction in the valley, we need to keep our facility fresh and new and bright and exciting for our zoo visitors, and also to accomplish our education and conservation missions. Gladys Porter Zoo, when it opened in 1971, September 3rd, that was 2 years before our government passed the Endangered Species Act. And our zoo was built specifically for putting breeding groups or assurance populations of critically endangered animals together as a hedge against disaster in the future. And that was really forward thinking, going back all those many years. Now, endangered species and preserving endangered species are words that are commonly in the vocabulary of our zoo community and zoo and aquarium community nationwide. But back then, it was pretty cutting edge stuff. But we continue that, and we've been successful over the years in producing more than 30 gorillas, breeding animals like the giant Galapagos tortoises, Philippine crocodiles, and sending them back to the Philippines to be put back in the wild. These are the kinds of things. But nowadays, children grow up in an urban environment, and zoos are the window to nature for the vast majority of American children.
Yes.
Most of them grow up in Detroit, Chicago, LA, and the only connection they have with nature or anything living is their zoo or aquarium, or perhaps a nature center. But that's why our mission has become even more critical, And if you'd asked me this question 40-some years ago, I'd have said conservation was number one, but now it's conservation education's number one, because we have to take people, and children in particular, out of the asphalt electronic world and introduce them to something living and something that they can physically touch.
Most definitely.
You'd see the eyes of a child light up when they pet a goat, or you hand them a snake, or any of these things, because it's a life-changing experience.
Most definitely. Now, is there a way for people watching right now, or people that are listening to this, how they can get involved in this campaign, or any help that they can give to kind of ensure all of this?
Well, any donation, any contribution is helpful, from smallest to the largest. Obviously, we would like to get some large gifts. Charlie, you want to tell them how they can?
Yeah, so basically, if you visit our website, we have a link that kind of attaches you to, which you're seeing right now, is how to donate. There's also information on all of our social media networks that you can find opportunities how to donate. And we're not asking for thousands of dollars from the general, from each individual person, which can be unattainable for a lot of us. Any contribution, $20, $50, $100, even less than that, is greatly appreciated. And you really don't know the impact that it makes to the endowment if everybody shared it. And also, just visiting the zoo is a huge way just to get involved and help our message for conservation and education.
Most definitely. Well, I mean, it's a fabulous zoo that people definitely need to kind of give back to, and so we can continue to enjoy it.
This is the key phrase.
You are the zoo.
You are the zoo. This is your zoo. It belongs to the people of the Rio Grande Valley and beyond. And in order for us to keep presenting a quality product, we need your help.
Most definitely.
And that's why we're doing this enhancement campaign. As I said, the standards within the industry are increasing. Ideas for animal exhibits are changing, and we want to continue to be a leader in the zoo field. So we need your help.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, of course, if you haven't gone even this year, folks, or if you have never been to the Gladys Porter Zoo, make sure you go on out and look at all these things and show that you do want to go ahead and give back and donate to something so beautiful that's in our own community and right in our backyard.
And one thing, virtually all the new improvements you'll see at the zoo have been fundraised.
Wow.
There is not a big pot of money sitting somewhere. It's been through help from people in the community here in the Rio Grande Valley and beyond. All the new exhibitry, the new aquatic center, the new discovery center, the education center, the La Huasteca exhibit, that's all been fundraised as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much for coming in this morning. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and come to the zoo.
Yeah,
Come
of course.
see us.
I love it.
She does.
Yeah. I'm going to have to
many
come
times.
back again.
Good.
All right, folks. Well, you saw that number and that website on your screen. If you want to donate or if you want to go just visit the zoo, make sure to go on their website or give them a call to get more information. Okay, folks. When we come back after the break, we are going to be talking to FEMA and answering more of your questions. We'll be right back.